Good evening to you. It is indeed a beautiful and amazing evening that the Lord has given unto us. And when you see me on air, you know it is that time for us to get innovative, for us to get informative, for us to get something to be educated on. And what I love the most is that this week has been a mental week, and what a better way to at least kuingia weekend with us knowing our health and knowing our mental state. And unajua kuna watu ambao nowadays we are so much posting, we are so much actually working, we are everywhere, but deep down we have traumas from the past. We are overwhelmed, we are tired, and that is why I thought it better for us to bring in somebody who will help us understand where do we draw the line between the stress and between burnout. And of course, if you had traumas in the past, inafika mahali you have to walk past it, because you have to live a life and you have to live it in the fullest. Na kama pia bado uko pale we huelewi bado una land wapi, don't you worry. That is why we are here to make you understand well where you are. And if you have those questions, just stream in the questions on our SMS number, on our call line. It is officially opened. So when you start talking, please usikae na hiyo swali ikusumbue sana, and we are here because of you. We want you to be healthy. Remember, we say the first thing for you to do is for you to be healthy. You can have all the wealth, but if you do not have that health, you will not be able to enjoy your wealth. And that is why I keep on insisting of you being healthy. Welcome to the Health Desk with me, Trevilla, and today is that hour, the hour for us to get started. And as you can see, I'm not alone in the studio today. I have a guest, and this guest is a special one. Unajua last week we were supposed to do this, na najua watu wengi pale mlikuwa mnanivi, but mimi ni nani? Mungu ni nani? Akaamua this is the time. Unajua sisi ndo tunapanga, lakini Mungu anaamua the time I am supposed to bring the person. It is that God's timing is always the best. He is never late. Actually, he is on time. Unajua mimi nikipanga nilijua it is that time, but God knew it is not the hour. This is the hour. And I want to allow my guest to introduce himself, tell you where you can get him, and tell you what he does and why that course or why that profession. Karibu sana daktari.
Thank you you so much. Those are interesting questions. So the bit that is interesting is why the course, right?
Yes.
Interesting. My name is Ronnie Ochieng. I am a consultant psychologist with Pamoja, or at Pamoja. It's called Pamoja Mental Health and Safeguarding Network. It's evolving organization, which is what makes it unique is that last section of the name, Safeguarding Network. So we are bringing a niche in mental health where everything we do is umbrella under safeguarding. So while we are a multidisciplinary team, we have psychiatric nurses, we have safeguarding specialists, we have psychologists, counselors, social workers, and even the occupational therapist. So just making sure mental health or wellness is viewed from a lens of holistic nature, and also safeguarding being a priority in everything that we do. Yes. And the other question was why psychology? Wow. This is definitely subjective, but oftentimes course that people pursue can be traced to maybe what inspired them in the past.
Yeah.
So myself majoring or deciding to pursue psychology has a lot to do with my past experiences. And we can't dive much into that right now, but the whole thing of past experience and seeing where gaps are and how best you can fit in to able to address a particular experience that I went through. And therefore that is the rebirth of wanting to be a psychologist, and here I am.
Wow, that is very good. Actually, many people have gone through a lot. What I have understood in these few years I've been in this world, it is God passes you through some things for you to become a helper to somebody else. So don't give up where you are, and that is why daktari ako hapa, ndo pia wewe kuamuke mahali umekwama. Usikae tu hapo ufikirie this is the end for me, this is all that I have to do. We are here to make sure that we have pulled you from that comfort zone, or from that pain that you feel like nobody else understands this pain that I'm going through. That is why we are here. Na ukisikia kabisa imekuuma, leo ndio ile siku ya kujifungua. Wacha ikutoke so that you become the person God ordained you to do. But before we dive right into our topic today, are you a partner with Oracle TV? Have you partnered with Oracle TV? This is the best thing you can ever do. By you partnering with Oracle TV is making sure that we bring psychologists like Daktari here to help you come out of that stress you think you're in, or that mental state that you feel like this is the end for me. That is what partnering with Oracle TV helps us to do, to stay on 24/7. And you know we are here 24/7 to make sure that you are spiritually fed, you're physically fed, and also you know how you're supposed to be doing in this life. We do not leave you where we saw you yesterday. We make sure you go to the next level after watching Oracle TV. To partner with Oracle TV is very simple. You go to a pay bill 171133, account is Oracle TV. Amount is anything that you feel this is what I can be able to partner with Oracle TV, and God will surely bless you. We say we tafuta daktari tumlete hapa kupatia information, but now that information to come to you, we have to pay the signets, we have to pay the satellites, and that is where you come in as our partner. And I appreciate every partner that has been partnering with us since day one. We do not take you for granted. We appreciate you, we love you, and we pray that God will continually open the doors of heaven and the windows of heaven for you and give you favor wherever you go. No kila mahali unaenda kupeleka business deal yako inakubalika. Kila mahali unaenda unapata kibali. So thank you, and thank you so much. And when you partner, please let me know so that I can encourage other people to become partners with Oracle TV. Now, you know, most people are there. We don't know if we are really living or we are just surviving. Tuko tu hapo katikati. Hatuwezi elezea kama we are living or we are surviving. Are we tired, or is even much deeper? And right now we want to talk about our mental health, stress, trauma, emotional past wounds, how to heal them. And that to start us off, Daktari, what is the difference between the normal stress and burnout? Because most people don't know if they have burnout or they are stressing. Unasikia tu niko na stress mingi, but this person actually anasuffer burnout. What is the difference?
Good question. And I'm glad that you call it normal stress, because that is very important to even the explanation itself. So stress, there is the layman one, which we would say is when an individual experiences too much pressure, or when life presents a lot of pressure, and this would come as a result of demands in life, as a result of threats, and just anything that is an instant change. That would be dubbed as stress. However, because everything is easier to stem them from science, right? So a scientific explanation of science, and still scientific but layman, is how our body respond to demands, I would say threats, and even instant change. So basically it's just a response that our body gives when there is threats, demands, and even just change. And that is basically stress. Yes. So when you call normal, reason why I found that interesting is because stress is actually can be good, and stress can be bad.
So we have good stress
and bad stress.
Okay, what's the difference?
Interesting. So in science, the good stress is called eustress, EU, stress. And this is the normal stress, as you dubbed it, that makes you change a situation.
Okay.
So, for example, if you are preparing for an interview, there is that discomfort that you will feel in order to keep up and do a background check of the organization, keep up, and do you feel like you're ready for that interview? If you're in the house and the dishes are not washed, and whenever you glance at the sink, there's a discomfort that you feel.
Yeah.
That's a stress. But it's sending you to go out of your way and change that situation. A normal one is waking up and the bed is not yet made, so you feel like that's a bit of not so good. So the stress that makes you change a situation is actually a good stress. When you're planning for marriage, there's that stress that comes with commitment, stress of do we have everything in place and all that. So that's a good stress. There is now the bad stress, which is basically when a stress is prolonged or sustained for long. So there's a threshold. It's more of what we'll say a line like this. So if good stress is here, there's a threshold, optimum. But if it surpasses that line, it's now become a bad stress, and science call it distress. Yes. So a distress is that prolonged pressure and all those that is presented. That is now a distress. So that you see the difference now. There is a good stress and a bad stress. And that's basically the difference.
And what is burnout?
Burnout, interesting. So burnout is a form of stress that is mainly associated with workplace.
Okay.
So it's unusual to say I have burnout and you're stemming it from normal social life or because of how you relate with your friends. But burnout is what we'll say it's a prolonged or chronic stress that now makes you have what we call depletion. So you are presenting exhaustion, the performance it's already compromised, and you want to do more, but you don't have the capacity to do more, even at work. So it even presents some of the symptoms that are close to depression.
Oh.
And that's why sometimes it's also what called differential diagnosis. It's close to it. What is close in this case will be you start losing interest in the things or activities you once enjoyed. So if it's hanging out with friends, you withdraw, socially withdraw. If it is hobby that you are enjoying, you start pulling out. So that's actually the burnout. So burnout in a nutshell is a prolonged stress that is associated with workplace.
Oh, and how will somebody know that they are now in burnout, but they're not just being lazy or getting tired? Because we've said it is coming out of workplace. So we can be in workplace and this person feels like I am tired, and it's just you feel like this is a lazy day. Just want to be. How would you now draw the line and I'm just being lazy, and this one now is not being lazy. This person is suffering burnout.
Good question. So this is mainly, I think, and still in layman, the difference there comes with the motive. So if, for example, someone who is experiencing burnout, like I stated, he is willing to do more, but he doesn't have the capacity. Yes. But laziness is you don't even have the motivation to do more. You literally do not have the motive. You don't even push yourself to do it. But the burnout is actually trying his best, but because the body it's all about the body. The body can't do more. So in a nutshell is when a burnout is you don't have more to give. But laziness is you have everything to give, but you're just deciding not to give it, not to do it.
You're just deciding today, let me.
Yeah, it's very intentional decision. And of course, we rationalize by not accepting the fact that it's not the willingness. We try to put it like, I'm just tired. But deep inside, if you you just move out of your shackles and you do it, you find you can do it. But burnout is regardless of attempts you do, you literally have no, and that's why its performance is low, exhaustion, losing interest in the things you used to enjoy before. And like I mentioned, it's a differential diagnosis for depression. So it's a thin line to depression.
And why is it that most people nowadays are constantly living in survival mode?
Wow. 21st century, or the current one. So survival mode, even the word itself comes from the law of the jungle, which we talk about survival for the fittest, and then there are a lot of those philosophical terms that are stemming from the law of the jungle. So why would people or us be on survival mode is basically because we are trying to keep up with the trend or the emerging issues. So I would say, and this may not be pretty much scientific, a bit subjective, like my own opinion, but people are in the survival mode because of the bit of lack of employment, or I mean, I wouldn't say lack, but there is scarcity of employment. We see in Kenya there is a lot of political instability here and there, and social media, there is the image it presents to us, but idea underground, the same people who poses as successful, but they have struggles. So when we see that, and we are probably beneath or in some level, and we want to keep up, that makes us adopt some mechanisms that would be called or dubbed as survival mode. But mainly it's about the socioeconomic status around us and the need to fit in, which is the law of the jungle. So survival for the fittest, because there are few resources. Actually, that's where it stems from. The animals, when there are few resources, so they will try to get the whatever it is and do anything just to get it. So that's why people, you will see, and I don't want to name names here, but people present the impression that they can do anything to get something. If it is job, you've seen those pop psychology going in, pay your way out, or even pay your body through. So people are doing that, and it's not a character flaws. We can't say that, we can't label them that something is wrong. It's just a survival mechanism.
So when you see people doing that, you should not just, they're just trying to survive in this in this world.
Yeah, so it's therapeutically you should not judge them or label them, because if you wear their shoes and you are there, you will do worse. Probably. Yes.
And can stress actually affect someone physically?
Good question also. Yes, so like I mentioned, stress is more or less a line, and there is one middle ground that now determines a good one and a bad one. So when it moves from a eustress, which helps or makes you get out of your comfort zone and change something, and it prolongs, you still have it for so long, and then it moves to the distress. Stress ideally affects the what you call nervous system. And once it affects nervous system, that's why you'll feel what you call heart palpitation. So it affects your blood pressure. And the normal one actually is stomach problem. I mean, digestive.
Stomach problem.
Yes, digestive system. When you are too stressed, it's the call of nature. There's a way you and it's usually we dubbed it as anxiety. But generally, when you're stressed, it affects your digestive system and even appetite. There are people when they are stressed, they eat too much or they eat too less. Yes, so it affects the digestive system. And also scientifically, stress has been found to affect the immunity system. So when you have distress, it's possible for you to be infected easily with ideally diseases that normally you will fight off. But now, even if it's malaria, as it's known in the tropical areas, it's easy for that to put you down. So basically, yes, stress affects our digestive system. It affects our immunity system, our blood pressure, and like I mentioned, the nervous system generally. So yeah, stress has a huge and it's one of the mental health related symptoms that we say has a lot of association with our body. So it presents a lot of, we call it somatoform. Somatoform is when mental health manifests in the physical body. So it has a lot of manifestation in the body when you're stressed than mentally. Yes.
Oh, so stress is that bad. And you're out there and you're saying, mimi tu niko stress. Kumbe ni jina kubwa, we should not people should not be mentioning it anyhowly. But Dr. I want us, before we go actually to trauma and all that, maybe you tell our viewers, what are the 3 main maybe steps or ways someone can start managing their stress? Because we know there is good stress and there is bad stress. Kuna mwenye, when you are talking right now, they are going to, ako sasa hapo kwa threshold, ni kuenda na endelea side ingine, so that they manage, they come back to the good stress. What are maybe the 3 things they should be doing?
Good question also. So most of, or basically whenever we are talking about addressing or overcoming anything, it start with awareness. You need to know. And that's why also people go for, tests in the medical field or anything to know what are they really dealing with. And then once you've known it is this and you've named it, now you're solving a problem you're aware of.
Yeah.
So, and it's one thing to be aware that I'm stressed, and another thing to just misuse the word I'm stressed.
I'm stressed. Yes.
So you need to be aware that actually you're stressed, and you can see the telltale symptoms like I've mentioned. And while of course we say seek help, because it's now a distress, it's not a stress. Seek help, and help here is not necessarily talk therapy, because talk therapy is not working for everyone. And that's why at Pamoja we are a multidisciplinary team. We have even ecotherapists who are using nature-based stuff or items to conduct therapy. So hiking is part of that.
Hiking can be
it's an ecotherapy thing. Yeah, hiking is a form of therapy. So basically those nature stuff to do therapy. So be aware first. And then once you're aware, then by the fact that you have acknowledged that, so you can come up with ways to overcome it. One of the ways will be what we will dub as self-care. Yes, in fact, that's the easiest one, self-care. And self-care is basically, as the word, if I use the same word to explain the same word, is taking care of you. Yes.
You put you first.
Put you first. And the law of self-care is usually everyone at least subscribe to some supernatural being. So immediately after that supernatural person, you come immediately. So like typically I'm married, right?
Yes.
But God first, then myself, because I can't take care of my wife nor kids before taking care of me. So that's the law of self-care. You come immediately after the supernatural being you subscribe to. So yeah, and by default, if you exercise self-care, and self-care also will dictate when you need help, then it's a self-care, seek help. Because you care about you, and therefore you need help, and you'll just oblige to that. So self-care period is the best way to overcome stress.
And there are those people, Daktari, they might be in that self-care mode. They know, like, I really need help, but they fear. Maybe from their childhood, they've never been. Njoo kuna wale wenye hawaongei sana. And there are those who fear, what if I go to Daktari, ataniona aje, atanibeba aje. So to this kind of people, what is the best thing for them to do?
Good. So individuals that they have acknowledged that, of course, they have experiencing a distress, distress, but they're a bit adamant to seeking help. But you mentioned that, however, they are exercising self-care. Well, that would be a bit of a cliche, because if they exercise self-care, then, and they know self-care dictates that they seek help, but they're a bit adamant, so that's a bit of a cliche. However, personality, of course, dictates a lot. So there are people who are naturally reserved, and reservation here, there are some, it's just a trait, and some people it's because of the past traumas or childhood experience that they went through. So individuals like that, I think ideally as a therapist, we provide a safe space for everyone that comes within our access. So it's just to affirm them, or basically affirm them that if they seek help from us, then it's a safe space to speak of, because you use the word fear.
Yeah.
So maybe they're afraid of speaking of what is in their mind and all. So basically we will create a safe space for them to do that. And now if you have a friend who does have such an experience, so it's also as being brother's keeper,
Yeah.
tell them that of course this works, and more so if you have a lived experience of that working for you, it's even best. Yeah. And by the best mental health professions or professionals are people who are also lived experience.
Oh.
Yes.
Wow. What I'm learning is, first thing, love yourself first. Understand I'm suffering from, actually I need help. And once you understand and acknowledge that I need help, you go seek that help, because you are the person who will change yourself. There's nobody who's coming to save you. Actually, there's somebody who said, once you realize that nobody is coming to save you, you will save yourself. So start saving yourself now, because there are so many people are waiting to see what God can do through you. Because ukianguka leo, kuna watu 10,000 na ngapi umeangusha, because kuna mahali lazima uguze maisha ya mtu. I can see Deacon is calling. You can try calling in again. Google, you can try calling in. Singekata daktari on any point. So you can call. The number is officially open, 0711 176 006. Once you call, ile swali ambayo uko nayo na unasikia I really want this to be addressed and I really want to know what is really happening to me or to your friend, tumemwona daktari be your brother's keeper. Na kama umeangalia ukaona huyu rafiki yangu kwenye anaelekea, it is not good. Please tell them, send them the link and tell them, maybe watch this program, you see what is happening and ask that question that you want. And of course, I want us to move to trauma, because sometimes we feel stress. We feel, nakumbuka tuliambiwa kuna hiyo part ya ka feeling. You feel like you're feeling stressed today. You feel like kumbe it is coming from the past trauma that is not healed, or something that happened in the past and wewe ukai overlook too, and you're like but when triggers happen, that is when you understand there's a part of you that was never dealt with. There's something in you that really happened that you need now to go back to the drawing board, deal with it, so that you can start living life the way we do. Na unajua hata tukisema trauma, kuna mwenye hata hajui trauma nini. Daktari, tuanzie hapo. What is trauma?
Good. Yeah, very good questions today. And I'm trying to be very layman in this explanation. So trauma is basically the response our nervous system gives due to events, and we will dub them as big events that we have experienced, or small but repeated negative experience. So, and that's key. It's very important to know those the two, part A and B, that trauma will result as the negative or big experiences or events that took place even just a few seconds from now, or small repeated negative events. So when I talk about the big events, are loss of a loved one. If you experience burglary in your house, or accidents, or some sort of assault, sexual or even abuse in one way or the other. So those, to a society and even our lens, looks big. But even small things like critics, negligence, those also would pile up and becomes trauma eventually. So if, for example, a child is, being nurtured and there's a lot of negligence or a lot of critics going through, like bullying. Bullying can be very, tiny, trivial, but still those piled up, if not resolved well, they become trauma. So trauma is both the big things, as we would dub it, but also small but repeated negative experience that we experience.
So there are no positive events that will bring you trauma?
Good question. By the way, yes, most trauma, because when we talk about trauma, is the main thing is the response. You remember I said is the way our nervous system respond. So and we respond when it is a negative person, because if it is a good stuff, let's say somebody surprised you with a car, it's unusual to see that, oh, I'm experiencing trauma because I was blessed with a car. That will be, very ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
But that would be a good, interesting, something to venture and find out in terms of research. But oftentimes, anyway, trauma is associated with the negative experiences.
And maybe how would childhood affect adult behavior and relationship?
Wow. And the disclaimer to settle the ground is, yes, the fact is, and the truth is, our childhood definitely has a huge effect to who we become, pretty much. And that's why Swahili say, mtoto mleavyo
ndivyo akuavyo.
Yes, so basically the way you nurtured someone, or the way someone is nurtured, eventually has a huge contributing factor to who they become. And this would be both in terms of the environment they have lived or been nurtured in, or even the genetical predisposition, like generally who they have, the trait. So if you ask how would childhood experiences affect adulthood, is going back to the trauma. So if there are these small negative repeated experiences, then those things becomes unresolved. The key thing, by the way, what makes trauma is when things have piled up and they have not been resolved. Yes. So resolving here is an example when you have your clothes in the closet and someone comes and pull one trouser without, the way perfectionist knows best how that goes. So it affects, if not all, but a few. And therefore, whenever you come there's a bit of discomfort there. So for you to often arrange this is not to continue piling up, but you have to remove all clothes and
start folding again.
Yes, so that is, but if you've not done that, they are unresolved. So trauma is when this thing, that's why I use the word repeated. So they are repeated and they are piled up and they are not resolved, they are not solved yet. And then eventually now when you're adult, they demand to be solved. And now they manifest through behavior. They manifest, so that's when we say these are the symptoms of trauma. Yes.
Actually, I've seen a question here. It's very interesting. This person is saying, I will rephrase the message. She was actually abused when she was 3 years. But now from then, she has not spoken to anybody about it. But lately, amekuwa akifeel ikimurudia. So anauliza, what is the best thing to do so that thing will go and go completely?
Good question.
And actually, akiona ule mtu, anakuwa na uoga.
Good. So before, or to answer that, there's a bit of clarity. Not clarity, but added information. Let me share the symptoms or the telltale signs of trauma, and then I'll bounce into that question. And we can't exhaust all of them, and whatever I'll be giving here, they are not enough for you to self-assess yourself and brand yourself, I am traumatized. I mean, I have
Traumatized, yeah,
trauma,
I have trauma,
yes.
yeah.
Because when you visit us therapists, there are criteria that we will have to run through, and there are other more tools that we'll need to use to confirm.
Okay.
Yeah, so just that symptoms itself is not enough. That would be more of a ChatGPT
ChatGPT.
response. Yes.
Yeah.
So anyway, but common symptoms of trauma is one, trigger. Trigger is, in this case, I will say, if you see something similar or close to what happened, you relive the experience. So it's like it comes afresh exactly the way it looked like.
yeah.
A good example, you witness or a road accident along some street. So every time you pass through that, you remember exactly, regardless of how long that took place. You remember. So when the lady or whoever
she's
asked
a
that,
lady.
yes, sees that whenever she happened to bounce or bump on whoever the person, she relieves that is a normal symptom for it. The other one is overreacting. So when you overreact, and overreacting is also more of trigger, because when maybe we are conversing and it's
Touch
like
something.
I've touched that thing, and then now you relieved it. Yes. Another thing is, which is common, is mistrust. You just have what we'll say, of course, there's a level of mistrust, but you literally do not trust. You have, regardless of how someone proves themselves, but you don't trust. That means you are stuck somewhere, and that keeps you can never trust, because somebody had made lose that. Another thing would be, now there are other somatoform things that are manifesting in the body, but ideally I can't exhaust the list because of time. But now coming back to that, so she asked, and she's given a synopsis of, she experienced something at 3 years, right?
Yes, 3 years.
And currently, or whenever this person was, let me use the victim, the culprit, resurface or they bounce, then she reminds her of that. And therefore the question is how she can overcome that. So I mentioned earlier that therapy is the deal, but it's not talk therapy. Remember, therapy is a general term. That's why even massage is a therapy.
Ah, yeah.
Yes, it's a general term. Even treatment of medication is a therapy is, I think, a Greek word to mean treatment. Yes, so it's a general term. So such a person, more so when you talk about trauma, the best thing is to resolve them. And how do you resolve them is when first you become aware that and I'm glad she's aware, and then you find a safe space to release them off, and then as a therapist help you now reprocess them and make peace with them.
Oh, they have to make peace with them.
Yes, and make peace here is a bit inclining to spirituality, I believe. Because you can't change it. That's the word.
Already
You
happened.
can't change it. And whoever was the culprit may have moved on and they are happily whatever, but you're the one hurting here, so you have to fix you. So the therapist will provide a safe space for you to vent off and say it anyhow. That's the good thing with therapy. Therapy is where you're allowed to talk anyhow. I've had even sessions where a client is insulting, but that's a good thing. Actually, that's, to us, it's a progress. It means they're coming out. Yes. So you talk anyhow, and you don't have to think of, so where should I start? Just start it from anywhere. Yes. And then as you release them off with the tools and the skills of the therapist, they help you to reprocess that and make peace with it and it realign.
Okay, you're making me curious as a journalist. You're saying tools of a therapist. Are there tools of a therapist?
Yes, by tools here I mean the skills that we have. And tools is, we have in therapy, based on the presenting issue, there comes a time that, for example, a more introvert client, you cannot just focus on conversation. You need to bring in what you call worksheets. So there are they are more of assignments that you can do together with the client, and then they allow you know what the client is thinking. In scientific term, we call them projective tests. So they allow the client to project what is inside that they can't verbalize, but through that tool, through that paper, you're able to see, oh, so they meant this and this. Yes.
Oh, okay, now I get it. And can someone successful, can someone be actually successful, but still be wounded and and have trauma?
Wow. The answer is a big yes. A big yes. And that still goes back to trauma. The reason why it's a big yes is, first disclaimer is this: there are two different. There's two differences between a successful person and a fulfilled person.
Okay.
So those are very, and oftentimes success is subjective. Success is what ideally the community dubbed as, like, hey, he has got
very
cars.
Successful.
Yeah, it's just opinion. But fulfillment is you.
Yeah.
What do you think? So somebody has a thatched roof somewhere with just one bicycle, but he's, according to him, he's satisfied and peaceful. But somebody has a bungalow and cars, so success as the society deemed, but is it fulfilled? So yes, it's possible for someone to be successful but having wounds, and because sometimes success is a way of proving yourself to people. That's possibly one. Another way is fear of going back to your past. So a good example is, we all have our background, right?
Yes.
So if your background, you stem from a more low social economic status, so you will try to keep up because you don't want to go there.
Back there.
But also, funnily, success nowadays is because of the social media. So you're doing anything. It goes back to, you remember that? Doing anything to look successful, but there are unresolved issues, and therefore the wound.
Yeah.
Because you're skipping stages and you're doing it for people, but not for you.
And what are the signs to show that this person is still carrying unhealed trauma?
So that would come to the symptoms I talked about, but to directly answer that question, signs that somebody is still carrying unhealed trauma, is, I would say, they easily get irritated, and this irritation is not just a one-off episode. Yes, because observation is important. Mood fluctuates. Today I may be irritated, but it's just because I had a bad day. So that's not enough to justify that I am I'm putting this out there because it's possible for people to leave the show or after watching this and they're diagnosing themselves.
Yeah.
And one thing that that Pamoja is very key to is we acknowledge that mental health exists and people knows, but so what? And one of the webinars that we do is answering the question that how much mental health education is too much.
True.
Because we've seen people, they have gotten
mental
the knowledge.
awareness is everywhere.
Awareness is everywhere. So it even jeopardizes, so people pathologize themselves, basically diagnose themselves. So even just that day, and that's why we get the word, just a small, allow me use that for funny, just for humor. People were dating and the boyfriend or the husband just did a bit of a small masculinity aspect and they're saying he's a narcissist. Why? They are so much having awareness of how mental health manifests and all that. So any small thing they label people, but how much mental health, awareness, health awareness is too much. So yeah, basically irritated and within a span of time. Of course, small things trigger them. And overthinking. So when you talk about something that ideally is very surface and trivial, they voluminize it. And that's them because they something like that reminds them of something, or they are building a shield, they don't repeat the same thing.
Okay, I can see we have a call coming. It has ended. Call again, and of course, Daktari is here. In the few minutes that we still have.
So if someone calls, or when someone calls, just let me stop and then you pick it.
That is okay.
Yes.
And of course, I want you to combine one thing. Can unhealed trauma make stress worse? And actually, can it make burnout worse?
Unhealed trauma. Pretty much. The open answer is yes, it can. And of course, every such question needs justification, right?
Yes, true.
The reason why unhealed trauma would make stress worse, as you put it, and even make burnout worse is because when the trauma is unhealed, it means there's a wound or there's a scar, as we use it here. There's a scar. So a normal thing that would be a eustress. For example, a good example is you remember preparing for interview, we dubbed it as a eustress, right? But when you prepare and then you go there and you have repeated we regret, those statements, repeated we regret, and some of those we regret are a bit criticizing you, and you feel like you're questioning your capability and all that. So that's a good example. So because that has been repeated and it's falling, ideally it was a eustress, but it went to distress and it's now repeated. So when a normal stress will come, which is this case is another stress of another job, it will remind you, and then you'll be like, I don't have to apply for that job because I'm not good enough and all that. So you will be so trauma actually is the marking scheme that we reference things before we do anything right now. Yes. So that is how it affects. So even it makes all these worse, the stress and the burnout, because most of the things will be referenced there. A burnout, for example, your boss or your supervisor is naturally strict and want you to deliver, but because you had a wound or a trauma in the past, and maybe it stemmed from a workplace, maybe there was a boss or a supervisor that assaulted you in one way or the other. So you will be interpreting this, which is very innocent, is just his personality to be strict, but you'll be like, he's sending the signal of what I lived earlier. So actually, trauma is the lens through which we see the present time. Yes. So if it's unresolved, you will always be perceiving things wrongly, even when they are really coming from an innocent ground.
Wow. And why is it that you find some people overworking, overgiving, overthinking, overcaring?
Wow. And I will... The good thing with these questions is they are stemming. I feel like they are just a whole thread within the same conversation. So those first set of overthinking, overgiving, overworking would stem as a result of trauma. But primarily overworking would be someone trying to prove a point.
Yeah.
And a point here may be to another person or to himself. And it goes back to what I say, maybe you came from, let's just call it, as an anthropologist will call it poor family, okay? But low socioeconomic status. So you know where you came from. And you don't want to go back there. What do? Overwork. Yes.
I can't go back.
Yes, you can't. So it's still a trauma because it's where you're coming from. And also overthinking will be still something happened. So still the lens. So if I tell you you're beautiful, as an example, but in the past people had criticized you and all that, and they made you, your body image a bit crushed. So it'll be like he's just saying that because of pity and all that. So you see, you're overthinking, but this thing was just a simple, honest thing.
Yeah.
Overgiving would stem from also people who are people pleaser. They want to please people and still trauma.
Yeah.
Because if you are a
Oh, so
people
people pleasing, it comes from trauma.
yes. Maybe you have some unresolved issue that stem from you feel like that is the only way to keep up with people. Yeah. So when you please them, there is a need they meet,
Oh, yeah.
and makes you feel, or and you feel now you can identify, or people you feel like people will only accept you if you please them. So even when you need to be assertive enough and say no, you feel like, but I stand to lose friends and all that, and still stemming from the past. So all these are connected to trauma.
Wow. And now, Daktari, as we are ending, where does healing begin? Because once you identify all these things, I mean, now when Daktari is talking, you're like figuring yourself out, and you're seeing indeed there's something. Where does healing begin?
Good. And still interesting, I'd already mentioned it. So healing begins with two main facets. One, the awareness. So the moment you are aware, and awareness must not always come from you. We have feedbacks that we hear from people, and feedbacks comes as a result of what people observe. So if there is a repeated comment about how you react or how you behave or any, that calls for you to have a meeting with you and assess, does it hold any weight? Does it have any element of truth? Because as a therapist, by the way, we believe not all rumors are false.
Yeah, there's some truth in it.
Every rumor has an element of, by the way, rumors stem from a fact, and then when I give it to you, and then people distort it. So by the time it gets to the third or the 20th person, it's not the same thing I said.
It has an element of
Yes.
truth.
So when people say something or comment or give feedback, do not just rule it out. Assess and just find out. But of course, disclaimer, there are people who also will give feedback and it's just all about them, not you. It has nothing to do with who you are. But healing begins with being aware. And secondly, find a safe space for you to, vent it out and then it be processed. Yes. And by process here, I still emphasize the fact that it must not be talk therapy. It can be ecotherapy using environment. It can be yoga. That's body sense. People use that, whatever works for them. It could be, even self-care is a therapy.
Oh.
Whatever works. Yeah, self-care. So self-care is anything that you do. Some people do manicure, pedicure, and that is how they decompose. Yes, so be aware first and then seek a safe space. And therapists provide the best of that. And even peer counselors. Peer is even your friend. If there are people who knows how to listen, nowadays there's a pop thing, we listen and we don't judge. But ideally, people judge. So if you have this friend that knows when to just listen and not say anything, that's the best friend also. Because not everything we share is requires feedback. Yeah, sometimes just say it and then and not all the time. Oh, so thank you. I think you should do that. Not quite. So be aware, because every healing you need to work. It needs you to show willingness. You need to. You cannot also go to therapy and more so if you've gone and it's forceful, you will not work it out because you'll be forced to talk, or you can give a false presented information.
Oh, it should be willingly.
Yes, it should be willing. And then because therapy is, we call psychology or psychotherapy is a professional relationship journey with the client, and you see, so it's a journey you go together, and we don't give advice as therapists. We just explore and we equip people and empower them to be able to solve the same problem or even whatever is going on, or even in future, on their own. Okay.
And is it possible for someone to get healed without talking about their past?
Yes, it is. And it still goes back to, it's not always talk that works for everyone. Yes. Sometimes it's just going to a movie and watching, and then you resolve a few stuff. However, disclaimer, the best way to process past, which is now the trauma thing, is through a safe space, which is more therapeutic. Because the therapist knows the best way to prompt you for you to unravel those things. Yeah, there are questions that they will ask you, and eventually and it's a safe, confidential space. So if you talk to them, it's not like after a few hours you'll hear your neighbor, oh, so I heard you. Oh, so it's safe, and it remains there.
It ends there. And maybe, Daktari, the last question, what are the daily habits that will help someone heal emotionally?
And when talk about daily habits, it must be very intentional. Very intentional. These will still come back to the self-cares. So if, in a joking way, if you have your poison, something you dubbed as poison. So poison here, maybe you love trying out new eateries. Yes, that is what you do to decompose. So you do that. But now the habit requires consistency. So it's not just something you do once. So if it's eating the gym has the best way to release off tension and negative energies. So you could do that. If you are inclining to some religious aspect, so if that works for you, then that's also a good way, because there you will provide, they will give you identity, they'll give you hope, and then a community also. So if that works for you, so basically it's those daily small habits that uplift your soul. Yeah. And in science we will say that increases the dopamine. Dopamine is the feel good hormone. So whatever you do that makes you feel good, consistently do it. Even it starts from making your bed in the morning.
Oh.
Yes. Somebody once said one successful thing that you do before you leave your house is when you make your bed, you will go out and get frustrated, but you come back to a well-made bed. Yes, you look at it and you see, looks good, and
just
you lay your
relax.
Yes. So, and after that you can pause, and for religious people, where the Bible say, God was creating things, the chronology of, and he saw it was good. So when you can do something and pause and say, wow, that in itself produces dopamine. Yes.
Oh, so everything that will make you feel good.
Yes.
Anything that will make you feel today you've done well.
And there's a disclaimer to that. It's possible to do other things that will make you feel good, but but there are also bad habits that you're cultivating. Yes. So it depends, but it's within reasonable boundary. Yes, because when you say anything, that is a get pass to.
Tuliambiwa na daktari tufanye kitu yoyote.
Yes, and people will rationalize and justify a lot of things from that statement. So that's why I love putting disclaimer. So it's not just anything, but positive activities that makes you feel good.
Wow. And thank you so much, Daktari. One thing I'm sure is you've known what is burnout, what is stress, and also you understand very well you have to self-search within you. Jitafute kwanza and ask yourself, where am I? Who am I? What is this that is disturbing me at this moment? Every time I feel 1, 2, 3. And once you understand, tuliambiwa huwezi enda tu, lazima wajue shida, ndio daktari pia afanye nini, aweze kutibu the exact problem. But kama wewe uko pale hata uelewi, watu wanasema that is one sign also you need to seek help. Uende pale sasa wakujaribu kuelezesha, tuweze kuelewa uko kwa level gani, where should we start from. It is not usifeel vibaya, I don't know where I am. That is why we are all of us are not doctors, all of us are not presenters. It's because God knew each one of us will need the other person. So hata kama ufeel we ujui mahali umesimamia, don't you worry. Just go to the doctor, let the doctor examine you. Tulisema tuna cultivate a habit of us at least going to the doctor. Uende kutafuta magonjwa, just going to see how well am I, physically, emotionally, because if you're not well also mentally, you'll not do anything. Utakuwa tu unaona watu, ukiangalia hivi tu una misinterpret everything, but we need you in the right form, in your right senses. We need you sober. And when I'm saying sober, I don't mean that you're drunk. We need you sober 100 in the mind, so that you can do that business of you as well. You can make those deals well, understanding what you're doing. And that is why we bring you the best of the best, so that you can understand where you are as a person and what you're supposed to be doing as a person. So if you have any question, please feel free to hapo kwa comment section. Daktari, I'm sure maswali zikiwa mimi ni nani, lazima nitafute daktari tena nimlete, and of course he will be answering your question. Ngugi, Diko, nani simu zenyu ziliingia, daktari akimake point. I am sorry I didn't receive it, but don't you worry. Swali zenyu mkituma pale, I'll make sure daktari has it, and also I'll make sure you get to know where daktari is, and you get connected and know. We get to know the future. The best thing we have to do is to make sure you are in your right sense. That is the perfect thing we want to do, so that your family can enjoy you and you can enjoy yourself also. You can feel that this is Trev and I am feeling great. I have done the best of what I was brought on earth to do. Remember, every one of us has a purpose in this world. Haukukuja tu ukuje ukule ulale siku yako ifike uende. There was something you're supposed to be doing in this world, and we will make sure we help you to get where God wanted you to be. And I hope you've partnered with Oracle TV. I hope you've become a partner, and I hope you continue supporting Oracle TV, so that we'll bring in the best of the best. We'll bring in so many other doctors. And if uko na pale, uko na swali unataka tulete daktari mgani, feel free to tell me on 0711176006, and I'll be glad to bring the kind of doctor you want. You know, we have so many. Daktari ni umbrella. We have so many of them. So you, ule swali uko nayo, make sure you ask, and we'll do that. And that is possible because you have partnered with us with that 100, 10,000, 1 million, whatever you feel God has blessed you with. And we are so grateful for our partners from day one. We acknowledge you, we love you. In everything you do, I pray that the good Lord will continually open the floodgates of heaven for you, because you've decided to put him as your priority. Trust you me, even in your business, he will make sure you get that deal, because you are his priority. Tunaambiwa kwa Biblia ametoka kwa kiganja. That means akiangalia hivi anakuona, anasema wacha mtoto wangu abarikiwe, kwa sababu hajawacha. You know, when you partner, kuna mtu mwenye pale nyumbani saizi amepona. At least when daktari ameongea, kuna kitu imemguza mahali, na it is because of you, ndio huyo mtu amepata healing. Wakati Mungu anaacha baraka yake, trust you me, even you are counted as one person who transformed that person's life. And I appreciate you. I appreciate those who have watched this program from the starting point until this hour. Those who have commented on Facebook, thank you so much. And of course, thank you for joining in and making sure that we are here. Na umekapo ukatusikiza, na ukatake notes, because easy notes are very important, because they will not just help you, they will help even the other person. Ndio wakati nakwambia unachukua notes unaenda kushainia mabeshte zako, because they have known what you are doing in Oracle TV. Daktari, as we are ending, what is your parting shot?
Well, that's usually an interesting question. But I will say, I will stem it from one of the pillars of Pamoja. Is we are living in the era of ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Quick feedback.
Quick feedback.
But we know this is a robot, technically, and whatever it generates is as a result of even us, the information we feed there. And there is the social media, and there is all that, and we know mental health exists.
Yeah.
But still, how much mental health awareness is too much. So let's not pathologize every situation or anything that is presented both to us and even to our vicinity, wherever is around us. But let's prioritize mental health just like physical health. As someone who will just say, let me just go for a physical check, So that is ideally how you would also go for a mental health, and it is very important because you cannot talk about physical health and pull off mental health. Yes, but so that's ideally what I would say. And let's just drop a lot of those popular statements that people say. Those are just to inflict fears upon us. But yes, so at Pamoja, we provide a lot of such psychoeducation, and also we provide safeguarding framework and policies around the same mental health and everything by going to institution, either education or health, and then we do a basement assessment and identify gaps that are in the system within safeguarding and mental health, and then after they have onboarded us, we create those framework and also workplace wellness or for the staffs and everything, and empower them to an extent. Now even when we pull out, they can still continue doing that as we just oversight when necessary. Yes, but ideally that's it. Maybe last bit in terms of the subject we were talking about. Stress is not all stress are bad. Yes, not all stress are bad. It's just, let's be aware when it's now passing from eustress to distress. Yes.
Wow, thank you so much, Daktari, for coming and making time to come here and educate our viewers. It is very important and we appreciate it. And of course, as we are ending, there's one thing I want to leave you with. No matter how long you've been in the survival mode, just know healing is possible. And you cannot just live. Uko tu pale ati ukae tu. You deserve to live and not just survive. So just know healing is possible. Start the journey now. I've been your host, Trevilla. Until next time, same place, same time. God bless you.
Bye-bye.